Hello, welcome to Mad Al Goes Racing, and today we are in Raceroom having a look at a couple of new things that have dropped in the last week or two, or whenever Aragon dropped. Firstly, the circuit of Motorland Aragon, which is in Spain, and secondly, the thing that's dropped just today, which is the much awaited DTM2020s. So let's have a look at the the track Motorland Aragon, which is in Aragon in Spain, which is about 200 kilometers north of Valencia, if I remember rightly. I can't remember the name of the nearest town, but it's basically in the middle of nowhere. And the idea was to build something a bit similar to Silverstone, in as much as it was going to have lots of different motorsport associated with it, and then technology centres and all the other bits and pieces, and be this Spanish equivalent. How well it's done for that, I'm not sure, but it opened in 2009, and it's probably better known in the motorcycle world than it is in the car racing world. I think the major things it's run in four wheels are the Formula Renault Championship, and I think Renault were basically based there for sort of 30 days a year or something, doing testing and all sorts of things for the Formula Renaults. It's FIA Grade 1, which means it can actually run a Formula 1 Grand Prix. It is one of Herman Tilke's designs, along with Foster's architects in the UK, helped them, presumably with some of the buildings rather than the actual track layout. It's interesting. It's got 5 layouts. I think it's probably more than 5 layouts, but 5 layouts in game. The fast circuit, which is, as the name implies, the one with the biggest piece of straight, the Grand Prix circuit, and the motorcycle Grand Prix circuit. The difference being the end of the back straight on the motorcycle Grand Prix circuit actually is a much faster corner. The car version actually goes down to a quite tight little hairpin, and then it's cuts back, as you'll see. I'll do both. And then there are the 2 national layouts for motorcycles and cars. The strange thing is that the FIA grading is done on the car circuit, and the FIM grading is actually done on the completely different corner at the end of the back straight. So for motorcycles, the actual accreditation is on a slightly different course to the cars, which is fair enough. I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Nicky Hayden many years ago? Bless his cotton socks. Had a coming together with somebody around the final corner and ended up almost going to the wall on the outside, so even then they thought it was a bit dodgy. So but what I was going to do is I'll do the fast circuit, and then I'll do the Grand Prix circuit, I think, and then I'll find a slower car to do the motorcycle national circuit, and hopefully that should cover all of the corners. So see if I can make a complete plonker on myself. Going with the DTM cars, there are 2, the Audi RS5 and the BMW M4. They're the only 2 manufacturers in the DTM this year, so that's the only 2 cars you're going to get, I'm afraid. So there are I think there's more of the Audis than, not many more, but I'm going to be really rest. Not because I drive like him, because he's a nice bloke. Like I said, there's only the 2 to choose from. You must remember, of course, with DTM that you will have push to pass, and you will have launch control, and you will have DRS. So make sure you got all your buttons lined up for them. I hadn't actually got push to pass assigned for anything, so I've added that one. And the other thing is, of course, these things do not have if you look at the factory settings, no ABS and no traction control, so they're quite a powerful car. They've got a lot of downforce, but in slow speeds they can be a little bit of a handful, which is why I may be driving as Rennie Rast. I won't be going as fast. Now, I have already been in the car and just adjusted my view a bit. They're actually got quite a limited view on the left hand side, so you might want to move yourself a lot further forward in terms of what they look like from the outside. Usual good quality modelling. Sound quite nice. Lots of nice burbles. So, we're on the fast circuit, aren't we? This is where I try and remember which circuit we just came to and where we're going. Right. Now, I've got this. You can hear it spinning the wheels up already. Now, Aragon's quite a nice flowing circuit. One thing I will say is that little red knobbly mushroom thing on the corner there, don't hit it, it'll wreck your car. This is an interesting corner. It's one of these, you'd come in here quite quick and then you have to brake down to try and get into this quite tight little corner, and then got no idea of the corner names. Acceleration zone through here, and then again deceleration through into a corner. You're going to have to trail the brakes into here. This is where things get really interesting. You come down here and you suddenly find the world has dropped away from you, and it's a bit like the corkscrew at Laguna Seca, only the other way around. Acceleration zone here, you have to be a bit careful because you might end up pushing out, coming out of here, so don't try and accelerate too hard through the first part. A little bit blind over this crest here because there's a braking zone where you'll be going here onto the Grand Prix circuit, but we're not, I forgot. So down the very long main straight, we'll just open the DRS, and I'm now trying to remember we're on the fast circuit, so it'll be the... Are we out of revs? Sounds like we're getting there. Very fast final corner. And trying to work out the line around here, it's a bit double apex. So it doesn't look on the initial run through like it's a particularly technical circuit, but there's quite a few quite challenging corners around here, trying to get the most out of the car. As we go a bit faster, you'll see what I mean about the braking zone through here being a bit of a pain. You're obviously trying to brake a lot whilst there's basically you can't avoid braking whilst turning in there, and again here you really can't avoid it. If you try and do all the braking in a straight line, you're going to be totally buggered there. Very easy to run wide and come out of there. It's probably best to try and do a bit of a later turn in here, and I'll try and remember not to slow down for the next bit. Don't think it's actually got any marked DRS zones along here, but there is a secondary piece of tarmac around here that's part of the national circuit, but there are several different versions. No idea how late you can brake through there or how much speed you can carry. That felt fairly close to what you can get away with. So that's the fast circuit, and the Audi, as you can hear, it sounds quite nice. It feels really nice, nice positive. What you will find is it doesn't seem to be heating the tyres up a lot. I'm not sure what the track temperature is, but it seems to be quite difficult to get heat in the tyres around here. So I did try a couple of laps and pushing for about 3 laps around the Grand Prix circuit, I did get to the point where I got a little bit of green in the tyres, but what we'll do is we'll go back and try the BMW, and we'll go with the nice shiny one from Timo Glock, and we'll go with the Grand Prix circuit, and I'll try and remember to go the right way with this one. I'm not sure how much difference there is between the cars, whether like a lot of the other DTM series, basically they're the same, they're so close in terms of performance that basically the physics are more or less identical between the two cars. I don't know if that's the case here, whether one or other car has got a bit of an advantage in one area over another. Obviously this is literally like 10 minutes of me having a couple of laps around and showing you what they're like. Basically I've been in long enough to adjust to my seating position a bit. I think this has got even more garbage in the way on the left hand side to make it even more difficult to see the apexes, but apart from that they're pretty much the same. As you can hear, it does sound somewhat different. Now, this is the Grand Prix car circuit. The Grand Prix motorcycle circuit, again, is the same apart from the last corner, so this is the same as the fast circuit, this bit. As is this bit. Again, trying to get the right braking and turning point for that particular corner is a bit tricky. Now, this corkscrew, I don't know if that's the official name for it, but I'm trying to decide at what point to try and turn here and what sort of line to take through this part is always going to prove a bit of a tricky one, because you don't want to run too wide coming out of there. Then over here, sort of in a blind braking zone, over that brow. And again, you're blind over this little crest, whereas there's like a little piece of road there, probably use that as a braking marker. And another, there's a mushroom again on the inside of that corner that you have to watch out for, and then it's down the straight, and as you notice there are cones on the motorcycle style corner, and we are going all the way, slightly uphill braking at the end of the straight, so you can probably brake a bit later than you think, and probably even later than that. But very tight hairpin, trying to get across back here to get an acceleration through. That acceleration zone is going to be a tricky little bugger, especially with the cold tyres on this thing. Quite a lively car. It's quite easy to lose the back end on it. Oops, a bit wide. Too wide. Again, the difficult parts are really that braking zone there and this one here. You can see I'm sort of trying to feed on some brake and some turn at the same time, and again this is actually quite a tricky part. Just more about working out where to accelerate out of here and how late to turn into this particular part to give it the maximum run out of this particular corner. Possibly more important, even more important on the fast circuit than on this one, and then probably you can brake around about the start of the curve on the outside. Again, use this. Oh, too late. Use that little runoff road as a braking marker, but brake at the start of it, not halfway across it. And again, because you're going downhill, you're likely to lose the front on the brakes if you're not careful. Certainly you do on a bike. Yes, you can definitely brake a bit later. Again, it's got those nasty mushrooms on various corners. If you run one of them, you will damage the suspension, almost guaranteed. Just try one more lap and see if it actually put a time on the board. The brake markers are a bit of a pain to see because they're right over the side, but you will find there's white lines on the curbing or behind the curbing. Again, white lines for the brake markers on the inside there. Trying to get away from that. Quite lumpy curbs. Plenty of force feedback through this car. Both the DTM cars feel really nicely planted. I don't think there's a huge amount to choose between them in terms of feel and performance. They both feel pretty evenly matched in terms of force feedback and what I'm getting through the wheel, in terms of how much load I'm getting, how much feedback over rough areas like the curbs, etc. Obviously the little bit of rear brake bias there. What are we setting on? I don't know what the brake bias was set to. I'll give it a couple more tweaks forward. That was a bit lively when it came on the brakes there. I'll try that one more time. That was definitely a bit of a shock to the systems. Ooh, there's that mushroom. Like I said, don't hit it. I don't know whether the maybe the brakes need to be eased back a bit on the pressure. Like I said, you can actually drop a car quite easily. Smoke gets in your eyes. Oh dear. Getting a little bit of heat in the tyres, but talking of which, my god, that tyre wear is quite high. I'm assuming this is on softs. I'm not sure if there's actually more than one set of tyres for it. I haven't looked. Ooh, too easy to lock the front. The margin on that corner is a little bit better off braking a little bit early, I think. Right, as I was saying, you should be able to brake quite late up here, but there is a nastily tight hairpin, and as anybody has seen me whinging about hairpins in the past knows, I don't like hairpins. I much prefer nice fast open circuits. shot without spinning the car, much better. It's not a super easy car to drive, but it's not hugely difficult. It's definitely got an edge to it, and you'll certainly know when you reached it. It will bite, which is always nice, whilst you want something that you can feel where you are with it. It's always nice to have a car that will give you a little bit of a smack on the arse if you abuse it too much. I don't want to say that's too easy to drive all the time. Am I actually going to successfully complete a lap without going to pratt myself? I am! As I say, there you have it, a lap of. No. Now the cars are nice, they've got a nice balance to them, the feedback is good, they sound nice, but they will bite you, and I like that in a car. I like a car that you know that if you push it too hard it is going to bite. It gives you that little bit of danger in the driving, so I like that. If I hit the R, are we on instant? Can we do an instant replay? Just have a look, see what it looks like from the outside. Just push this up here and okay, I'll press that button then. Oh, yep. Definitely do not want to be doing that. That'll look bloody painful, that. If it doesn't shake your fillings out, nothing will. Oh, that sounds nice. Whoop. And you can see how quickly that lit that up. That caught me out a bit, I think, is the correct term. So that does sound really nice on the overall. This corner is definitely one of the, you're going to have to go around it about 100 times to go, I'll try that line, then I'll try that line, and you're going to end up sort of moving yourself out or moving yourself in and going, is that right? Is that going to work a bit better? Because it's one of those, I think you probably find for every line that you find there's at least one more. So it's interesting corner, that. I don't think there's actually a dull corner on the course, really. Definitely, there's plenty of places where you're going to be coming over a slight rise. So obviously, as the course drops away, you're going to be losing potential grip. And you've got the slightly uphill braking zone into the hairpin here. Again, watch out for those bigger mushrooms. So will he follow him around for one whole lap? See if we can get it right. Again, you can see us bit of a, you can't really, well, you'd be very hard pressed to actually break in a straight line really there, so you do have to take your life in your hands a little bit and brake whilst turning in a bit. And again, trail brake to the apex a bit there. And again, you're trying not to drift out too far, especially as you've got an out of bounds on the outside there. I like that camera angle. This, where we are here, I can't really see it, but this is it. Oh, there it is. Huge stone wall all built up. They had to, I guess, cut a huge lump out the side here and built it all up using these big stone wall. It's like a bloody great dry stone wall holding all that back. So it's interesting. As you can probably see, it's quite a dry landscape. I don't think I've ever seen a race meeting where it rained. Because I've been using this track for World Superbikes for a few years, and MotoGP come here every year as well. So, oh, look at that, a clean lap. So yes, nice cars, nice track. We will try the national track now, but I think I'll try in a slightly slower car to give you one, because I can't remember where it goes, and two, I'm less likely to make an idiot of myself. He says he's probably making an idiot of himself, but we'll try in a Formula Junior. Why not? And then we'll do the motorcycle version. Basically, like I said, the only difference between the motorcycle and the car versions of the track are the last corner, or the last corner on the motorcycle track is the long one, and the car version goes up to the rather tight hairpin. Personally, I prefer the motorcycle one, but that's only because I don't like hairpins. Other people might like the... It's definitely going to give you a nice big overtaking opportunity, having that big hairpin there. Whoa. Interesting. I think my FFB might have been a little bit... Well, it doesn't feel particularly tight. Right, out of the pits exactly the same as normal, and then into the second corner, and you should see some cones ahead, and we turn left here. And again, a bit of a rise over the top there, so you're a bit missighted, and you are into a little left, right, left. That is, I'm just trying to remember, is that the end of the... I think it's not, is it? No. And then you're through another one of these many sort of bus stops that have got, I think it's 3 down the main straight, and they can go across to. And like I said, there's choice of either going the motorcycle route or the up there for the car route. But oh, this feels really light in the front end, this Formula Junior, for some reason. I haven't driven this for a day or two either, so yeah, maybe we should have practiced in this as well. Let's try that again, shall we? Tricky braking zone, because you're obviously trying to brake while still a bit unsettled from the turning right to turning left. Now, that's I'm trying to work out where this particular piece of track is compared with like the, oh dear, driving like a brat. Compared with the bit that's in the Grand Prix circuit. I think it's further along. Yeah, it must be. That does feel very, very light on the front end, like it's got no grip at all. But then, again, there's zero heat in the front tyres, which is not going to be helping. Let's accelerate through the corners. Lift off oversteer there. Should we try once more? Even I can't cock up 3 laps in a row, can I? Don't answer that. Oh. All I can say is, what a twat. It's actually quite a bit tighter than you first think, that one. I don't think this national circuit will be a lot of fun in a really quick car, but they're not getting a lot of grip from these tyres, you know. At least I can plant the throttle without having to worry about spinning the car. Oh, for fuck's sakes. You could probably, I was going to say, take that in one single corner and whoop. You definitely can't do that bit like it though. As you can see, it's certainly a lot tighter than the Grand Prix circuits, as well as being shorter, obviously, for being a national circuit. But I think, despite the extra shortness, the technicality of the course, even though you're not having to go through those two sort of corners where you're trying to brake and turn a lot, I think these bollocks, has run it again, haven't they? That again is slightly off camber, so it's going to be quite tricky. I get the impression this might actually be slightly off camber as well, so well, as I've failed dismally to actually perform a single lap around here, I'll have a look at a replay and you can try and work out why I can't actually manage to drive this circuit at all. But in terms of the circuits themselves, they're really nicely modelled. Plenty of things to look at around the outside. Considering how it looks, I'm actually meant to hit the replay button, didn't I? Perfect timing. Watching myself make a prat of myself. Yeah, in terms of the modelling, they're nicely modelled. I do believe the track is actually quite smooth anyway. So there's not a huge amount of road noise. And like I said, I'm not sure how much usage it actually gets. Certainly in terms of the motorcycle racing, there's plenty of that on it. Car wise, I think the only major thing they've got this year is the World Touring cars, because the Formula Renault stopped a few years back and was replaced by something else which only lasted about 2 years. So I don't know what they're trying to line up or have lined up, but you can see you should more or less be able to sort of do this all in one big loop, but I failed dismally. Definitely got a bit of a John Player vibe going on with that car. But that's tighter than you first think. But again, there's all these nice little risers that make life quite difficult to actually see apexes and things, so it will take you a lap or two to actually work out where the hell you are and where the braking points are and where the turning points are. So I quite like the circuits. Not a huge fan of the hairpin at the end of the back straight on the Grand Prix circuits, but I can live with it. So I was going to say, should we watch me doing a complete lap? Is there any point? I screwed it up so many times. This is me forgetting how to drive a car with the engine stuck over the back wheels. I could do with that camera being a little bit further up for this. I don't know if they do a version where you could, I mean for the real circuit, you could sort of do the first twiddly bit and then just go straight down the straight instead of doing the second bus stoppy bit. Like I say, it's got quite a few sections up the straight where you could have various bus stops at various points. That was terrible. I just understeered all the way through there. So, but that's Motorland Aragon in 3 of its 5 layouts. Basically the other 2 layouts are a combination of the other bits, but nice circuits, not too expensive. The DTM cars, really nice to drive, quite tricky, but not in a bad way, tricky in a good way, if that makes sense. Nicely modelled, good sounds, as you would expect from Raceroom. Feel really positive, and overall really nice. And they are, how much? $11.99 I think it was, VRP. So I've heard people quoting $14 in the US and €13.99 euros or something, but in VRP $11.99, and of course I had $11.85 or something in my VRP account, so I had to spend 14p. But I think we'll call it a day at 40 minutes, especially as probably 20 minutes of that was me showing you how not to drive, and that's the latest from Raceroom, which is going along very nicely, and I'm looking forward to another league starting this week, which is the Audi TTs, I think it is. So from me for now, that's it on Raceroom, and enjoy your driving, stay safe, have fun, goodbye.